I'm going to show you how I set up the Dutch buckets here inside the greenhouse and what's entailed in setting up the elbows inside of them and getting the layout for the 1.5-inch drain that they rest on. Here's a brand new bucket that hasn't been installed. They are made to set on a 1.5-inch PVC pipe with a 7/8 hole drilled for this to set inside. So when you get the buckets, they're going to come like this. Make sure that you order the Bato elbows that go with them. They clip together like this. It takes 2 for each bucket. They clip together like that. Okay. Then you're going to put this inside the bucket. They're notched here. The notches go to the bottom of the bucket on the, the very bottom. And they go around this circle on the inside, okay? So you set the elbow in here. Okay, and that will allow, let me get the light right, that will allow the water level to come up to the top of the elbow, and then it'll start siphoning out. It'll siphon out until it hits those cutouts on the bottom of the elbow, and that's where it'll stop siphoning water. So that'll allow the roots to not drown and help circulate water through the bottom of the bucket. And then nothing sticks out on the bottom here except for the piece that, how it comes. So that elbow doesn't stick out past the bottom of that, but it should go down far enough that it'll clip in to the sides there. So when you have all your buckets set up, or you need to lay out your 1.5-inch pipe for them to set on, and then you will need to measure, unless you get a different size Dutch bucket, but I think this is the only size that they make. I went with the actual Dutch buckets instead of the 5-gallon buckets because these are a little bit more UV stable. So they will last a lot longer in the greenhouse. I've had 5-gallon buckets that just dry rot really quickly. So I don't know, maybe there's some that last better than others or longer, but these have been in the sun for several years because they were bought for another project and were not used. So anyways, they're being used now. But I'd say they're probably 4 or 5 years old, and they are all still very flexible. And so anyways, unlike a 5-gallon bucket. All right, so your 1.5-inch pipe, when you get it all laid out like you want, you're gonna need to go in and you're gonna drill your holes at 10-inch centers. 10-inch center will allow you to set each of the buckets on and allow just the right amount of room between them. So they're good for tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers. You can space them out more. 10-inch centers is if you want them right on top of each other. With tomatoes, the way I grow them and prune them and tie them off to strings as they grow, I don't have any problem with them, growing into the other one. So hopefully that answers any questions you might have. I ran all of these down to a center drain that I ran inside the greenhouse. You could run them, you could run them into a sump tank where you have a automatic sump pump pushing it back to another tank. It all depends. I don't know. People use these in hydroponic systems. I'm not really familiar with how they set up the hydroponics. They're similar to aquaponics, except that I'm running them through a fish tank first. So this all goes to a center drain, goes outside into a sump tank, which I'll show you in another video. Then there is a pump in there with a float valve, and when it gets so full, it will pump back to the fish tanks. So hopefully that answers any questions, and feel free to comment below. That would help me in case you're looking for something else. And if you could subscribe, that would help me a bunch. I'm trying to get this up and going. Hopefully something that'll help other people. I've got a whole homestead here anyways, I'll touch on that in another video. But hopefully this helps. Please let me know if there's anything else I can do. Thanks.